Welcome to Reckless Paradise, everyone. I'm your host, Marissa. I'm here with my co-host, Dystro. Say hi.
Hello, everyone.
Happy Sunday, everybody. I hope everybody had a really, really good weekend. I had a pretty relaxing weekend myself.
And I work all weekend,
At the
so
Jimmy John's.
at the Jimmy John's, yes.
Jimmy John's.
Welcome to Jeffrey John's.
Oh my gosh. So, thank you guys for joining us tonight. I am pretty sure you guys like tonight's episode. So, tomorrow will mark exactly 1 year since we started the show. We started the show January 9th, 2022. Like we had mentioned before, we originally started on Spotify, but at the time, we had three people. One was a producer, and then it was just me and Dystro. Unfortunately, we had a falling out with our producer last spring. So all of our Spotify stuff got deleted. Hence why we switched to YouTube. So technically, yes, we have been doing it for a year as of tomorrow, because that's when we started recording and posting and stuff. So tonight's episode is our 1 year anniversary episode in dedication to the podcast. We talk about a lot of things like most memorable moments, some of our favorite episodes, and more. So before we get started, I just want to do a couple things here. Number one, happy birthday to our best friend, Ken's, who turns 21 today.
Woo!
Happy birthday, my dude. I don't know if you're listening to this, but thank you for being my best friend for the past 5.5 years. I don't know where I'd be without you, my dude, even though you roast the shit out of me every night.
Oh God, it's like I've known him for over a little bit over a year.
Yeah, going into 2 years now.
Going into 2 years now. It's like I've known you for going into 2 years now too. So it's like I guess it was just perfect timing.
Yeah, I put you in a group chat with me, Ken's, and like a few other people, so like that's how y'all met. So, but yeah, happy birthday, Ken's. I hope we had a good birthday. And another thing, actually, a couple more things, a couple deaths that I'd like to recognize. Today, on this day in 1991, former guitarist Steve Clark passed away on this day in his mid 30s. He died from respiratory failure due to a mix of drugs and alcohol. He had a very, very serious alcohol addiction. I'm not going to get too much into this at this time because we are planning on doing Def Leppard stuff this year for the show. So you will have to stay tuned for that. But God bless him, one of the greatest guitarists of all time, probably one of the most underrated guitarists of all time that people seem to fail to talk about. But God bless him. I miss you, Steve. And Def Leppard, honestly, one of my favorite groups of all time. I can't wait to do that stuff this year. And last but not least, Bob Saget. Tomorrow will be his 1 year anniversary of his passing. Now, let me tell you, that death hit me like a fucking truck.
Yeah, I think it hit everybody like a freight train because it's just like it was just so sudden. And it was like
nobody was expecting it.
And it was in the state where I live at right now, which is even more terrifying.
Yeah, he passed away at the age, I believe, 65. They're saying accidental head trauma. I guess that's what they're saying.
Yeah, that's what I saw too.
It's just weird that we started our podcast the night he died. Like literally hours after we found out he died, we started recording. I don't even know how we did that episode that night because like that was our pilot episode. We literally turned it into a Bob Saget tribute.
Mm-hmm. I think it was just because like we had to pull it together for Bob and you know like we wanted to show gratitude and talk about him and stuff and like it was a moment of weakness for us as fans of his work, but it was a good tribute in our own eyes to him.
That's and what sucks is that episode got taken down because of our producer, because again we had that falling out. So unfortunately we're gonna have to redo that, which I think we could do at some point this year. I think we'll do that. We'll just redo like our favorite moments from Bob Saget and stuff like that. Talk about him. But yeah, that's actually a good way to get this episode going because that was literally our first episode we ever did. If y'all remember listening to us on Spotify, you know what we're talking about. It was a really good way to get the podcast going because it kind of showed our soft sides of us in a way.
Yeah, it shows that we can be vulnerable when we need to be.
Right.
It's like, like we're not, like popping up on, the podcast being like, hey, it's blah blah blah, and it's like we're showing like, like we could show that we have
Emotions, like the real sides
emotions.
of us.
Yeah, like we're not just robots just doing this for 2
I
days a
am
week.
a robot.
I am SpongeTron.
I can't believe it's been a whole year since we started this journey. Like I never
Yeah.
thought we'd get this far. Like I really thought we weren't gonna get anywhere because like a lot of my own personal projects I've tried doing on YouTube, they never lasted for long.
And yeah, and this all started because I had a New Year's resolution last year, or well, in
Yeah,
2021, I should say. Um,
it's been 2022. It's 2023 now.
I said in 2020, or well, yeah, it would be 2022. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah,
Uh, that's another believer right there.
math, math, my dude.
Meth. Okay. Um,
No, not meth. Kids don't do that shit. That we're not promoting that. No.
um. So last year, we were going into 2022, and then we were. I was like, like I've always had this New Year's resolution, and we were talking about New Year's resolutions, and we were talking about. I think we were talking about like podcasts or something. And I said, yeah, I was like, yeah, that's, one of my New Year's resolutions because it was like, oh, boy, wanted to start a podcast. And then our former producer, who is not with us anymore, he's not dead, but he's just dead to us.
Jesus, Dystro. Oh my god.
Soft subject, I know. But like, he was like, like I have all this equipment and we could do whatever we need to do. And then I was like, I gotta have Marissa on board because I was like, she's kind of like my co-pilot in this situation. She's like, she helps steer the ship when I go off the rails sometimes.
Right. I mean, that like we're two peas in a pod. We work together really, really well. Um, now, the thing is about me with the podcast stuff, I was a little anxious getting into it because I had just gotten out of a really, really bad relationship the previous year, and
Mhm.
I was worried that my ex was going to find some of this content. But like I was trying to tell myself, who cares? Like I'm in 2023 right now. I'm like I don't really care. Like I've been doing this for long enough. I'm professional. I know what I'm doing. Um, and I even like I think one of the biggest things for me, like one of the biggest moments for me on this show was getting to kind of tell my story of what I've been through with that bad relationship. Not
Mhm.
once, but twice. I had to tell it twice because originally we posted that episode on Spotify.
Mhm.
That got all taken down in April, so I had to redo it the following month. And you know what? Do you know how tough that was?
Well, yeah, I know because it was just like it was hard to listen to it not once but twice in the same year.
Yeah, like I literally had to like suck it up and relive all that fucking trauma
Mhm.
again. And in a way, though, I'm kind of glad it's done. I'm glad that I got to tell my story and put it out there.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, like that's what I mean. Like doing a podcast, it definitely allows you to express yourself to a broader audience. If you get what I'm saying, like
Yeah, it like we said, like it shows our vulnerable side because it's like a personal episode for me was like social anxiety. And it's like we all have social anxiety, no matter shape, form. It's like we all have it.
we
It's like
haven't done a personal like episode like that in quite a while, but I have some in mind for this year. So,
yeah,
but I ain't gonna tell you yet because I don't have them set in stone yet.
uh,
I'm looking at our whole entire lineup here of videos that we've done from March up until now because we started the YouTube stuff in March of last year. I'm glad we did because I'm in complete control of the YouTube stuff, which is a
yeah,
good thing because I know what I'm fucking doing. We're on a set schedule. There's like no excuse for us to not upload unless we're having like internet issues or my power's out or his power's out. Um, but we really have had no interruptions since March.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've had technical difficulties on some headsets on
On
my
your
end.
headsets, yeah.
It was just because like the headsets that I had are super shitty.
I've been using the same headset since like 2020, I think.
But like I had finally upgraded to a better headset, which that's a good thing.
Yeah, that's good. Um, so by interruptions, I meant like no schedule conflicts. Like
Mhm,
there was one time we had to pre-record episodes because I was going to be away for a week, which it worked fine. Like everything uploaded the way it should have. And that's
mhm.
important. That's really important about starting a podcast is consistency. Like you want to fulfill the promise to your viewers.
Yeah, which we have 17 of. So,
And probably more that just don't have a YouTube channel and can't subscribe. But we thank you, by the way, for listening to our show weekly or whenever you decide to watch.
mhm.
So I'm like I said, I'm looking at our whole lineup here, videos that we've done. Our most viewed video was the very first video we posted. Now, the first two videos we posted, we had to do our own individual episodes because at the time we couldn't figure out how to get Anchor to work. And plus Dystro was having some technical difficulties on his end.
Yeah.
So we decided to split that episode into two. I did my part for one video. He did his part for the other video. And it was our top 10 Billy Talent song rankings. Now,
Mhm.
we're definitely going to have to redo this video this year. We're going to have to revisit it because our rankings have most likely changed a lot since them videos.
I would say so, yeah, because it's like we've listened to all the Billy Talent albums by this point, and it's like some of our songs, like I went through both episodes and written down like our individual lists, and I was like, uh. I was like, oh God, I was like, we gotta do that. Like, we gotta redo it like at some point because I was like, I bet like our songs have like changed like a
A
lot
lot. There's
since
a
then.
lot of lists we have to redo this year, and that's probably going to be
Mhm.
the first stop on our list. My episode got the most views. It got 51 views, which isn't bad for a first episode. That's pretty good. Yours got almost 30, which is good. That's really good.
Mhm.
And then right after that, we had an interview with a good friend of mine who he still talks to me. You guys might remember my good friend Dean, also formerly known as Duke Stump to the pro wrestling world. Uh, we did an interview with him, got 44 views. This was like, oh god, this was like I think our third
This,
episode on the channel.
yeah, this was like 9 months ago.
Wow. Now, here's a little bit of an update with him. I think I mentioned this before in the past, but I'm just going to mention it again for those of you who don't know. Dean is releasing some music this year. He's releasing an album this year. I think he was supposed to drop it next week, but he's thinking about pushing the date back another week so he can wrap up the last song that he needs to record and stuff like that. He's also releasing a deluxe edition. So when that drops, I will let you guys know and I will post a link to where you can find his music, where you can buy it, and stuff like that. I mean, you gotta help the guy out. Like, he's only 19. He's, trying to kickstart his career. I think he kind of like dropped out of the wrestling scene. I don't know if he's ever gonna go back. That'd be nice if he did. Um, but in that interview, we asked him a lot of questions about like his wrestling career and who his favorite, like who were his inspirations, his favorite match that he's got to participate in, all that stuff. But
That was an interesting one because his uh audio was kind of like
low.
low, like really low. So you had to turn it like all the way up so you can hear him. I was like, I could barely hear him, and I was like messaging Marissa. I was like, I cannot hear him.
It's okay. Maybe we can sit down with him again this year and, see if he can get like a better mic if we could talk to him again. Maybe ask him how his music career is going. Like after he drops the album, I'd like to get him back on board with us. So, got some contacting to do. Oh man. So let's push away from the episodes themselves a little bit and let's think about the guests that we've had over the course of a year. Now, um, starting with Spotify, we had one guest on one of our episodes. One of our dearest friends goes by the name Faded on Discord and on Instagram and stuff like that. Man, I believe he was on like our second episode that we did, and we did stuff like I think it was like top 10 maybe rock albums,
I think it was top 10. I think it was like top 10 like bands or something, I
something
think.
like that. It had to do with rock. He was on our very second episode on Spotify. I would love to get him back on as well. It has been a very long time. He was probably one of my underrated guests because his audio actually wasn't too bad. Thinking about that.
Yeah. Um like another guest, since we're talking about guests and so it was fun having Ken's on
Oh
for
yes,
when we like oh, we were talking about Slipknot.
I believe that's what we were talking about. Yeah, I'm trying to find it here. It was on YouTube.
Yeah. I think we were talking about like I think we were talking about like either music releases, and we had brought up Slipknot at some point, and he was saying like yeah, like it wasn't
Oh,
not released
top
yet.
five. It was top five rock songs, I believe we did. Wait, maybe not.
I
Fuck.
think
Now I
that
gotta hold up. I'm gonna go find it while you keep going. While I go find it, I'm gonna go on my phone and
uh,
find it.
but speaking of the birthday boy, like yeah, he was like an awesome guest to have on, like even though like it was just like the three of us, like we were just clicking off each other and stuff like
He
that.
didn't. He didn't come prepared either. He didn't have a fucking list ready.
Oh no, he didn't even have anything prepared. Which I mean, like it was like good for him to like do it like on the fly. Which I mean, I've done that many times. So
It was top five rock songs and more. That was the title of the video.
oh my god, that's so us. That's so
That
us.
is so us. Another one of my favorite guests we had, we just recently had him on the show, not once but twice, was our good friend
Lord.
Corey, who I went to school with. We have been friends since the first grade. He was probably one of my favorite guests on the show. He is funny.
Especially when you know.
He goes off on a tangent about a serial killer.
No, the other way. The other thing. Like when we Corey, if you're listening to this, you know what you're talking. You know what we're talking about. Like when we play Uno with him, like he's like super funny when he plays Uno with us.
Oh God.
But it's just like yeah, like we were talking about serial killers, and like he went off like on a tangent about I think like
Jeffrey Dahmer.
Jeffrey Dahmer, and he like went for like a whole like maybe 10, maybe 12 minutes. It felt like
It was
felt like
cool though,
more.
because like I didn't know anything about Jeffrey Dahmer, so like I got to. It was kind of like a show and tell episode. Bring your own serial killer.
Bring your own serial killer. That's a new reality show.
It's an annual tradition for Halloween.
It's an annual tradition. Um, the yeah, it was like Corey, Ken's. Oh, your cousin Nate was awesome.
Oh yes, with the fucking nostalgia days episode, we were talking about really funny commercials that we remember from like childhood, and he like all I could hear in the back was his freaking his pager going off because he's a firefighter.
He was like, "Sorry about that."
Oh my god, I was not expecting to come on the show because like I didn't think my own family watched this stuff. Like,
And I don't think we didn't even have like a guest plan, did we?
no, we didn't. Like, we kind of. Well, he texted me a week before. He's like, "Hey, can I be on your show sometime?" I'm like, sure. We got a Nostalgia Days episode coming up on Thursday. If you want to be on, he's like, "Okay." And I sent him the information the night before, and there we go.
Um, do you have any favorite episodes in mind that we did,
Um.
topic wise?
Well, before I get to that, we have one more guest that I actually failed to mention. My good friend Hunter, who I also went to school with, and Corey knows as well. Very underrated guest. I believe he was also on a Nostalgia Days episode
He
with
was on the
us.
cartoon days.
Also, your mic's like getting a little wonky wonky.
He was in the cartoon days one.
There we go. Yeah, he was in the Cartoon Days one. You're right. Oh my god. Wow, that was like old. That was like our second Nostalgia Days episode.
Because he and I went on like a little tirade for like felt like half an hour while you were just
Wow.
sitting there.
Yeah. Yeah, I remember that now. That was our second Nostalgia Days episode. And speaking of favorite episodes, I really enjoyed doing the Nostalgia Days stuff. We're actually wrapping that up this year. We have one episode left to do. I have that set for, I think, February. I'm not 100% sure. But we are officially going to wrap up Nostalgia Days this year and continue on with our new series that we've started last year. Um, yeah, I love the Nostalgia Day stuff we did. It just really brought back a lot of feel good memories for me, from when I was a kid up until now. And
hmm
now, what about you? Like, what's one of your favorite topics or series that we've started or done this past year?
So the series that I really enjoyed was the breakdown series that we
Break it
started.
down.
Break it down. No, but it's like it's so, how should I put it? It's like it's very unique because it's like there's not a lot of people that will break down like an album song by song by song and tell you the deep meanings behind each song, like what we did for like Billy Talent, with Billy Talent 3, for example, in Back in Black and stuff. It was like it was so interesting to look up the song meanings and then hear like our opinion on like where it ranks and stuff. Like there's some songs that we were like, okay, like, it's all right, but then there's some songs like, oh yeah, it's a 10 out of 10 for us. And then we ranked the whole album as a whole. And it was like it was pretty positive
Yeah,
for
for the
the
most
most
part.
part.
Now,
Uh
I do have some planned. Actually, I have one episode planned for this month for the breakdown, so y'all have to stay tuned for that. I believe that's in maybe 2 weeks. I love that series, and that series is going to be a very long series because we have a lot of albums to go through this year.
oh yeah.
And we just started our Blink 182 pilgrimage, so we just finished listening to Neighborhoods.
Yeah.
Fucking
It's like that.
amazing.
Yeah, it's like not a lot of people give that album the credit it deserves, because like a lot of people are saying it was just trash. And I'm like, well, you just like, well, it's probably based on like one song, but it's like, like you shouldn't just base it on one song. Just give
Right.
the whole thing a fucking listen.
Oh yeah, for sure. So yeah, definitely we are not wrapping up that series yet. We've got a long ways to go on that. Another series I really like doing is Debate Hour, which we haven't done a lot of lately. I feel like we need to like find some good topics to put together for a Debate Hour episode. The last one we did was Bon Scott versus Brian Johnson. I mean, come on, can't beat it.
It's like I think we both went Brian because we didn't. Well, and plus we would have to probably redo that, kind of maybe.
Nah.
It's like, well, I mean, I would. It's like I would say, like, since we had listened to some of the Bon Scott stuff, I'm kind of leaning just a little bit towards Bond, but it's like it's mostly Brian all the way.
I'm always a Brian fan. I love Bond though. God bless his soul. But I'm mainly a Brian fan. Oh, excuse me. Okay. So let me see here. Another kind of, well, this isn't really a series. This was just a topic we did over the summer during August. We did Van Halen stuff, and let me tell you, it was probably the most exciting topic for me to do because I am like a secret kind of like Van Halen fan. I love Van Halen to death. So like it was really really exciting to do it.
Yeah, and I remember the debate hour that we did for the lead singers, David
David
Roth and
versus
Sammy.
Sammy.
And we were like, I was like, oh yeah, I was like, I've been always the David Lee Roth guy, and you're a Sammy Hagar girl, so I'm like, okay, well,
The way that
so
sounds, I love
Sammy
it.
Hagar girl, you're a Sammy Hagar girl. Um, but it's like I was like, kind of just knew that we were just gonna be polar opposites on that, because like you grew up with Sammy stuff, and you've listened
Pretty much. Also, your
to
mic's like
David
starting to be a
Roth.
little wonky again.
Growing up with David Lee Ross rough stuff.
Right. I mean, I grew up with David too, though, but like, I've always been more of a fan of the Sammy stuff, just because a it's underappreciated. It's just as good as the David stuff, in my opinion. We don't talk about the lead singer of Extreme though when he did the stuff after Sammy left. Like, we don't talk about that. Like, that shit ain't good.
Well, it's like
That's like trying to
Thanos
put like
snapped and
Axl Rose and
he's wasted,
AC/DC.
which we will never talk about.
Ever. Um, let's see here. So I liked all the tradition stuff we did, like the Christmas Day traditions, Christmas Eve, New Year's. I think we did Thanksgiving, we did Easter, did summer. I loved all of those episodes because we kind of got to get to know each other more on a personal level, like what we do in our personal lives for holidays and what we used to do and stuff. I
Mm-hmm.
really liked that. It was like a really bittersweet way to spend the holidays during the holiday episodes and stuff.
Yeah, I liked doing that too. Um, the one episode that comes to mind right away, since we're on the topic of episodes and stuff, if I may, um, the one episode that we both were kind of interested in doing a lot of, um, it was the Benoit episode that we did.
Yes, that was probably the most controversial video we've done on this channel.
Mm.
Besides my relationship thing that I had talked about before, that too was very controversial because my Xbox saw that shit. I don't give a care. I don't give a shit. But anyways, yeah, Benoit, very controversial topic. Very excellent wrestler in the ring, but I don't support like what happened outside the ring.
Mhm.
But yeah, jeez. I'm really glad we did the episode though. We really took our time with that episode.
Yeah, it was like 42 minutes long, but there was like a lot of stuff to uncover with that episode.
Right.
I think at the time that was kind of like it was like we were kind of getting our groove and our wheelhouse with longer episodes because our longest one was the 2022 year in review.
Yeah,
That
the
was our
recap.
longest.
1 hour and 13 minutes exactly. That episode was really good, and I'm really glad we did it. We really like kind of went into depth with what we could remember from the past year that's happened, whether it was personal stuff, music releases, stuff in the wrestling world, deaths, like just anything.
Mm-hmm.
Now, another thing or series, I should say, that we started not too long ago was Shoot the Shit. Let me
Mm-hmm.
tell you, I absolutely love that series. It's really good for me mentally because it allows us to just about anything, no set topic. Don't have to take notes, like that kind of thing. It's just a really like unwind, relax, shoot the shit, talk about anything. Did you play a good game this week? Talk about it. Did you hear a good song on the radio? Talk about it. Did you fucking take a walk and see a random ass tree down? Talk about it. Hey, listen, that's just the point of the fucking episode.
Did you see a deer in the woods? Awesome. Talk
Did you
about
see?
it.
Did you get eaten by a bear? Tell a story.
Like in the afterlife. Like it's funny that like we started doing that now because it's like a long time ago before I was like doing my job that I have now, which I'm coming up on my 1 year anniversary, by the way. Clap, 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 clap.
Yay!
Um, um, my dad, where he works, there is sometimes always deer in the like little forest area where he works. There's just random deer that pop up there, and it's like, oh hey, like hey, how's it going? And then they just go off on their merry way. It's like they don't bother anything, they don't bother anybody. I'm like, okay, cool.
So here's an interesting question to ask you. I don't know if you're doing the same thing as me and looking at the episodes on YouTube and seeing like what we've
Oh,
done.
I am.
Okay, so if you go to the video section and click popular, out of all those so-called, out of all those so-called popular videos, which one did you not expect to blow up like it did?
Well, I'm on my TV and it's not with
Oh,
the.
it's not showing you.
But if I do it on my phone, give me a real.
I mean, I can just like list off like our top 8. If,
Uh,
oh,
1 second. Oh, there we
um,
go. Okay.
are you gonna do it?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay.
I really did not expect the Orange Cassidy one to blow up like it did.
I agree. Like that one got really popular overnight. I'm just like, really? Why? I did my usual like promoting on my usual platforms. Like I did not expect that to blow up.
Hey, it's awesome. It's like, hey,
It's
that's awesome.
between that and the Razor's Edge breakdown episode.
Yeah, that one too.
That was a really, really good episode. That album was awesome. Fucking amazing. Oh my god.
Especially for one song that we had played for Christmas.
Mistress for
For
Christmas.
Christmas.
I love that song. I'm still gonna play it even though Christmas is over. But yeah, I would like again to thank all the guests that we've had on the show over the past year. Faded, Ken's, Corey twice, my cousin Nate, and my friend Hunter. I thank you guys so much for being on the show over the past year, and also Dean, who I'm gonna try to get to come back for a updated episode. Thank you guys for joining me the past year or so. Yeah. Um, Again, I would like to see you guys come back, and I'm hoping to bring some new guests to the table this year. I gotta try to reach out to some people. Don't know who yet. Like I said, I do want to get Dean to come back for another episode, give us a little update on what he's doing now. It's been almost a whole year since we interviewed him. So, if you're listening, we want you back. And we'd also like to thank all of our viewers over the past year for watching us and supporting us. Without you guys, we probably wouldn't be here. You guys keep us going every day. Keep us thinking about what we should do for content. At this moment, as of today, we have 17 subscribers, which to a lot of people, that's not a lot. But to me, that is a lot. So thank you guys from the bottom of my heart. And to newcomers who may have just joined today or even in the previous video, welcome. Hope you guys enjoy the shit show. And also another thing that we have started this year, thanks to Dystro. Dystro is in control of this. He has been taking funny clips from our episodes, from modern day stuff to even our old episodes, and taking clips of the funny moments and posting them on our channel. So if you guys want some funny moments, be sure to, go watch the shorts that he posts. I think he posts them as shorts.
Yeah, they're shorts. Yeah.
Okay. And also, if you guys hear or spot any funny moments, you can comment below like the
Timestamp.
the timestamp that you guys hear it, like about an estimate of a timestamp. Give us a good estimate. Daisha will go ahead and clip that, and we'll put it on the channel for you guys.
Yeah. I was about to say, speaking of the shorts and stuff, there's like 4 shorts up right now, and one's got almost 1,000 views, and that was from like 6 days ago.
Wow, almost a week ago. That's cool.
It was the one where it's like it says like you got cut off at Thursday because it's like your mic had cut out, so it says third.
It was probably my internet that night. So happy 1 year to the Reckless Paradise podcast as of tomorrow. But yeah, thank you guys for always being there for us. And we are going to continue this whole journey this year with some good content. I've got some really good stuff planned this year. Daisha doesn't even know about half the shit yet. And I don't want him to know. I want it to be a surprise.
It's like I'm completely in the dark with this, man. I don't know what's going on.
Hey, it's supposed to be like a surprise to you and the viewers, yeah, I get that you're part of the team, but sometimes I want to surprise you with stuff. Okay, so this Thursday's episode, we are going back to do another random ranking episode, which we did one for Billy Talent a few months ago, and it turned out really good. So I'm going to do one with AC/DC this Thursday. I will send you our list. So basically what random ranking is, if you guys don't know, we take all the songs that we know by a certain artist. We go to a randomizer list website, you put them all in, click randomize. The first 10 that pop up, those songs we have to rank on a scale from 1 to 10, like where we put them on a top 10 list kind of thing. So it's basically a random top 10 list. We don't know what songs we're going to get. It might be all songs that we hate, all songs that we find mid, or all songs we find good, or a mix of everything.
I hope I get the one song that I really, really love. I hope I do. I hope we do.
The thing is,
Because,
though, there's a lot of
yeah, I know.
AC/DC songs.
But it's like, I just hope I do. I just hope I do.
I will literally actually give you the top 10 list after we're done all this stuff tonight. How's that?
That's fine.
So you have like time to rank them and stuff. It's just gonna be like on a top 10 list like we usually do. So that'll
Yeah.
be this Thursday, guys. It's gonna be a really, really good episode. So you won't want to miss it. And of course, I have tonight's song of the night. Pretty much a self-explanatory song. It's the reason why we named this podcast after Billy Talent's song "Reckless Paradise," which was released on the Crisis of Faith album that came out last year. So that is tonight's song of the night, "Reckless Paradise" by Billy Talent. If you guys want to hear it, click on the top right-hand corner of this episode. The link should pop up with the video. Go ahead and take a listen. It's the reason why I named the podcast the way I did, because we love Billy Talent. I am probably one of the biggest Billy Talent fanatics you'll ever meet. And I wanted to name it after one of the more modern songs from Billy Talent. So I picked Reckless Paradise. Plus, Reckless Paradise, the song itself, kind of recognizes how the world can be. This song came out in 2020, just before the pandemic started. The world can be a pretty dark place. And we talk about some dark topics on this podcast, but at the end of the day, we try to spread a positive message to you guys. So, Reckless Paradise kind of suits us. So, yeah, there's the reason why we named the podcast the way we did. So if you guys stuck around to the very end, we greatly appreciate your support. Be sure to go follow us on social media by clicking on the link in the description below, which should take you to the link tree, which has everything that you guys need. Instagram, Reddit, Twitter, TikTok, and Dystro's gaming channel, which is 4 subscribers away at this time from 200. He's going to meet his goal this year. I'm so happy. So go subscribe to him if you haven't already. He posts weekly gaming content. He just uploaded some Skate 3 stuff a few nights ago when I played with him. So go check that out. Follow us on social media to keep up to date with the podcast in case something goes wrong, we can't upload. And be sure to listen to tonight's song of the night. Happy 1-year anniversary to us. And thank you guys for listening. And we'll catch you guys this Thursday. Peace.
Peace.